from the sweltering sweat dungeon of the oyster cellar. It's the Dinnernet, the official podcast of having 7 different beverages at once.
Our guest on this episode is Emily Ritchie, Executive Director of the Northwest Cider Association, an organization that connects cider makers and cider drinkers.
Hello, hello.
Emily, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Did you just land today from Portland?
Well, land in a car, yes.
Yes.
I came yesterday. Yeah.
You were on Channel 13, like Fox 13 this morning, doing like a TV spot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
welcome.
that's why I look extra good for the podcast.
Yeah.
Did my hair.
Yeah, welcome to the easier part of your day.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Possibly the sweatier part. It's really sweaty in here.
Oh, absolutely.
Is it sweaty in the new studio or no?
You got to be in the specific hallway where the air breezes across your locks.
They have a system. Yeah, do they have a fan? I
don't know how
like
they
an
do
action
it.
movie.
I don't know how they do it.
That's where they recorded the Barbizon commercials.
The Barbizon. My sister went to Barbizon.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, she did.
Whoa.
She was like 14. We still have the modeling photos.
Oh my God.
You are in town because the Northwest Cider Cup Awards just happened.
That is true.
That's correct.
Accurate fact.
That's why Fox 13 wanted you to hang out, right?
That's why it was newsy.
Yeah.
The Northwest Cider competition happened at the beginning of this month, and then it took us a couple weeks to, reorg and get ready for the awards party, which was last week on Thursday. I don't know when this is being released, but it was on June 26th. There we go.
FYI, folks.
And yes, we released all the winners then. That was the first time anyone, including the winner, found out if they won something.
Oh, wow.
Great.
And amazingly, we had this podcast lined up already because the winner was from Seattle.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. I think we can chat about winners here, yeah? If you want to talk about later in the roundtable.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's talk about winners. Who won what?
Okay, well, the drum roll, please.
Yeah.
The winner of the Northwest Cider Cup. So I guess I'll give you a little bit of context and background. Yeah. The competition has been around 12 years.
Okay.
It was a competition created by cider makers for cider makers because way back when, a whole decade ago, they didn't have a lot of great ways of getting feedback from people who had well-trained palates. Mm-hmm. So they created a competition to do so. We have judges from across the globe now who come out, and they are looking for not only flawless ciders, but something that's really beautiful, well-balanced, that's going to titillate the palate.
Yeah.
There are 18 different categories because cider comes in many different styles. As you guys know, you actually love cider, which I appreciate that when
I do.
I'm talking to a host.
Yeah.
And so each category is only allowed to have gold, silver, bronze medals so that it becomes strict and rigorous that way. So only about 25% of the entrants won anything. And then the fun thing is all the gold medals from 18 categories then go up against each other, and then you pick best of show.
Cool.
So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the winner of the actual cup. Very prestigious. I think it was a secondhand store where we bought the actual trophy.
Nice.
Yep. That's how our industry rolls.
Love it. I love it.
But yeah, it was Empyrical Cider.
Okay.
And they actually won with a Perry, which
nice.
I think they did that on purpose so they can confuse the audience when I'm talking. But so cider is fermented apple juice.
Yeah.
Perry is fermented pear juice. We promote both things as an association because really the two things are linked way, way back.
Sure.
Even Napoleon thought Perry was more elevated than champagne. So folks have been drinking Perry for a long time.
Yeah.
And this particular one, it's called Principal. It was made with the Perry pears they grow in their orchard in Snohomish. And these are these gnarly little guys that are really hard. They never really get soft and beautiful. They're not pears that you would eat at the grocery store.
Yeah.
If you bite into them, we literally call them spitters because they're so astringent.
Yeah.
You do not swallow that.
No.
But they make a really beautiful drink. And
they-
that's really
they
what they
ferment
were designed for.
Yeah.
Sure.
What does it taste like?
Do you want to know?
I'm dying to know.
I brought you the
It's as though
only
there's-
bottle I have.
There's some of it in there. Wow, what an honor.
I love how we're getting right into this.
Yeah. No, I'm into it. What is it? It's 1 p.m. It's time to drink.
1 p.m.
Long overdue. Thank you, Emily.
You mentioned the idea of flawless ciders. What are some flaws that manifest commonly?
Yeah, cider is a very welcoming drink. It's not as specific sometimes as wine where we're like acetic, that's in or out, unless you're in a natty wine crew.
Yeah.
Cider is a little bit more like the natty wine crew where we're like, let's have a lot of more innovation. Let's play with this a little bit. A little bit of something is okay. Like a little bit of acetic quality, a slightly vinegary can be okay if it's well balanced with some sweetness. And pears actually have sorbitol in them naturally, which yeast doesn't eat.
I didn't know that. Sorbitol is a natural compound.
So pears will always be slightly sweeter because the yeast can't deal with that. That sweetness won't ferment dry.
So pears have it and apples don't. Okay.
It's a beautiful complexity.
I did not know that. This is so good. I'm obsessed with it instantly.
Yeah, instant tasting notes.
Why is it so good?
Why is it so good?
Scientifically,
I mean, this is made by a couple who live right here in Seattle. It's just a husband and wife team. It's not a big company. And they make the effort to grow their own fruit. And I think that really shows in the end product. They also are huge perry lovers. So they have, I think, 4 different perries they make, which is really unusual. Most cideries don't have access to that many pears that they can make 4 different types of perries. Right. So these guys are huge perry lovers and are getting better and better at it every year. Okay. They just started a few years ago, and they're right out of the gate. They were winners of our Cider Cup as best new cidery, I think 3 years ago, something like that.
They're precocious.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they have a tasting room, or is it just such a small operation that they're just kind of like distributed to specialty shops?
Right. I've not seen a tasting room from them yet. Maybe they have plans, but they have a really great relationship with a local store in town called Press Then Press. Okay. And they are an online store where you can buy and have it shipped anywhere in the country, but also because they're local and they're a mom and pop shop, they will deliver it to you. They'll get in their car and deliver it to you in Seattle.
Nice.
Yeah. That's great.
Good to know.
I know they have at least 1 case left online, but they really don't have very much of this winner. It's called Principal.
Like once you win an award like this, it goes fast, right?
Yeah. So
understandably,
it's rare, it's
fun.
Yeah. But they do have some of their other perries if you aren't one of the lucky 12 people who get one of the last bottles.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, the other stuff is good too.
It is very good. I tried one of them on TV this morning, so verified.
Well, it's so interesting because for me, cider is kind of a new love. I first had cider, of course, like 20 years ago, and it was okay, but for me, I felt like cider was either sweet or it was dry, and then dry manifested to my palate tasting kind of dull. And now when I'm tasting ciders, they're so much more interesting. There's so much more going on with them. Like, when did that start to happen?
You have more access to better ciders now, just as time has marched on as well. Like the ciders that are from France or whatever are being imported into your little local store.
Well, also, I think local cideries are kind of playing with process a little bit more than in the past, right? And so,
absolutely they are. And you're in the Mecca of cider too. The Northwest, we sell. So when I look at stats, as a trade association, how are we doing the rest of the country? We sell more cider here in the Pacific Northwest, more than double compared to pretty much anywhere else in the country. And Seattle and Washington alone is the largest market, period, dollar amount for cider. There's a lot of people. Portland, when I interview in Portland, I'll say like Portland is the most cider per capita. Okay. But we're really drinking a lot, and we're drinking local. And in fact, in Oregon, as of last week, we're now selling more cider than Budweiser.
Really?
We're that's the only state that's ever been able to say that. So we're really seeing more and more access to the local, the micro cideries.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I wonder if we just didn't have access to, or we weren't trying to drink local stuff. We were drinking the Budweiser of ciders, right? And we were drinking Stella or something.
I saw the cider category really explode because of Angry Orchard. I will give them that. We didn't know a lot about cider as a general population in America, before them. And they, moved the bar on that. They said, this is a drink made with apples and it's alcoholic, right? So we got that much. And if that's not to your liking, there's so many more varieties, like you said, that they're playing with process. Like pet nats are absolutely a thing. They're playing with apple varieties. Like I brought you a red fleshed cider. not everyone knows, but apples, when you cut inside, some are bright pink inside, which is really cool. You know, they're playing with groovy pears too. So it's really fun.
I feel like also we have Schilling here, and Schilling gets more elaborate. Just that's sort of the mainstream cider here in Seattle. You know? It's the Rainier cider, I suppose. Well, that guy's creative. You know, he's doing weird stuff. So as time marches on, he started off pretty normal, and now he's doing weird shit. So.
Yeah, and he has. I mean, the two really, they're running a really great company. They've got a lot of staff retention. They're really all about their people, and they're buying local because Washington produces 60% of the country's apples.
Right.
We have the apples,
and we have 100 cideries, I think, something.
200 in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I was just talking about Washington State.
Washington's about 80.
Okay, I just wrote that cidery road trip for Eater, and I had many different reports on how many cideries there are, because some people count the different tap rooms from the same cidery, that kind of thing.
Well,
so
also there's no license for making cider, so you can't track exactly who's doing it. It's all under a wine license.
Got it.
So you can look at how many wineries there are in the state, but that's not going to tell you how many.
That's why I got so many numbers. I got 85, I got 105. Like Seattle Met reported over 100. I'm like, I don't know. Let's say 100.
And are you counting companies that pretty much only sell cider, or there's a lot of wineries now, if they're smoke taint or something else, they're going to make a cider so they have something to sell.
Like Dwinell makes ale and wine and cider. Yeah. Right. I heard they're for sale, by the way. Is that true?
I don't know.
Goldendale?
I don't know.
You don't know? They're good. I like them. I just recently discovered Dwinell. But anyway, that's why it's hard to track. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the other two?
Yeah, let's
and
get
what
into
they
that.
won.
Tell us what they won.
I also brought Kingston Black that's barrel aged because I know, Meg, you like Greenwood Cider.
I like Greenwood Cider a lot. I'm a new fan.
I don't know if we get that in the background. Opening the bottle.
It's rustic that way.
Yeah.
There are many categories of cider, right? So this one won the gold medal for barrel aged ciders.
Okay.
And it's a single varietal cider, so they could have entered in the single varietal category as well. But they're using Kingston Black apples, which were bred specifically to make cider in a single varietal format because it has all the qualities you need, has those tannins, has that robust mouthfeel, but it also has some acid. And you can make it as sweet or dry as you want when you add some juice back to it.
Okay. It is beautiful, first of all.
Yeah, it has almost like an amber ale approaching hue to it.
I have had this. I got this at Queen Anne Bottle Shop next to Bar Miriam, and it blew my mind to smithereens. I loved it.
And that's why I brought it for you.
This is incredible. I don't think I've tasted any other cider quite like this.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it has this kind of touch of appley sweetness, but there's that kind of...
There's liquor.
Yeah, there's that
the
kind
ghost,
of like
the ghost
boozy.
of bourbon.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Swirling, it's like LaCroix.
The ghost of bourbon and port barrels.
Yeah. And the wood.
Yeah, and when you talk about the color, actually, the color of a cider will tell you a lot.
Yeah.
Because cider apples, the tannic ones that are the spitters, just like the pears I was talking about, they oxidize very quickly, right? A lot of eating apples, we've bred that out of that ability. When you cut into it, you don't really want, brown apples. So they try and move away from that. Cider apples, they don't care. So they will brown very quickly. And thus the cider ends up having this more golden oxidized hue. The actual cider is not oxidized, but the apple did in the pressing.
That's so interesting because this is so appealing visually in the glass, but it would not be appealing in solid apple form.
Right. Yeah, it really isn't. Yeah, you don't want to consume the apple and you don't want to look at it.
I like the line, cider apples, they don't care.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
There's almost like a caramel note to this.
Yes, that's what I instantly thought of.
Yeah.
It's like dessert. I love this stuff.
And not sweet caramel, but like the real caramel that you would make with sugar on a stovetop that kind of has that real enticing like hint of bitterness to it.
Yeah. Greenwood, I was at Schilling one day and they had a bottle of Greenwood and I just tagged them in an Instagram post and they reached out and said, do you want to come to our spot in Interbay? And I just didn't have time the next day. But Greenwood Cider Company, if you're listening, I'm obsessed with you guys. I would love to come tour that spot.
Bring me.
I'll bring Mark. Yeah. Marco, you want to go tour Greenwood Cider Company?
And another one of those like teeny tiny micro ciders.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Great to support them.
Yeah, I'm excited about them.
Super homegrown Seattle folks.
And then we've got the Baumans.
Third cider, yes. So I have a huge crush on red fleshed apples specifically.
Yeah.
And Bauman's also have a crush on them. They're beautiful. They're red fleshed cider here. They won gold this year in the red fleshed category. So only apples that are naturally pink inside when you slice them open. And they won this year gold. And this specific cider won the competition last year, the best of show. And
it's so beautiful. They're all so beautiful.
Yeah.
They are calling this bottle Mountain Rose. This apple can also go by the name Airlie because it was discovered in Oregon in a little town called Airlie. And Oregon State University has done studies. They want to know where it came from. They really can't connect it to anything. It really did just pop up in a farmer's field because apples, every seed in an apple will create a different type of apple.
Right.
If you want to grow the same apple, the Fuji or whatever, you have to graft that.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
I was traveling in the foothills of the Blue Mountains out in Walla Walla, and my buddy Sagar Small is like a forensic apple anthropologist, and he said there's old orchards from the 1860s from the old pioneers that have been abandoned, and so if you drive up these mountain roads, there's just old apple trees. So we went out there with Liz Kanapke, who's the executive director of the Walla Walla Wine Alliance, and Liz got a big branch and was just knocking down ancient apples, but I saved a bunch of seeds of them, thinking I could plant one of them somewhere, but now you say it won't necessarily be the same.
Not at all. It won't be the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same
It could be anything.
DNA.
Okay.
You might create a new apple.
I might, though.
You probably will.
Yeah.
You're going to get thousands of different varieties. It's really fun.
It's like Jurassic Park, right? Like I'm reanimating this apple from 1860 into a new concept.
I'm fascinated at the concept of a mystery apple here.
Right.
We don't know where it's from, really. It's
Apple Jurassic Park. I can start a theme park. It'll be great. We'll all be drunk on cider.
She's getting off topic over here. But,
Sorry.
What I was going to say is, it's also called Mountain Rose if it's grown in Hood River specifically.
Okay.
So this apple is the winner of our last two cider competitions, actually. So 2024 and 2023, two different cideries. Alpenfire was 2023. They won for a single varietal with this apple. Okay. So we're breaking the mold this year with a Perry winning, and it's all blind judging, so people didn't know what they were judging.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Mm-hmm. But this one is definitely a industry favorite.
Mark, what do you think?
I love it too. And it has some of the same flavor elements in a way of the other ones without the oak, because I'm getting that kind of similar bitter caramel enticingness.
Like a raspberry tartness to it. Mm-hmm. It's like a light, it's high
cranberry.
Cranberry.
Yeah. Cranberry.
Like ascorbic acid.
What's funny is a lot of red fleshed apples, whether it's this one or the Novichkiana from Kazakhstan, they have those similar flavor profiles. So much like if you're always drinking a Sauvignon Blanc, it's going to have similar flavor profiles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
What are some of the other major styles of cider?
Well, the most competitive in our region is definitely the fruited ciders. So you were talking about Schilling. They won the gold for our fruited cider category for their Moonberry, and that's blueberries and blackberries in it. Mm. And there were only 17% of those entrants won anything. So you can see how much bigger that category is.
Yeah.
But that's really what's selling. That's what bars are putting on tap. That's what people are going to bring to their 4th of July barbecue.
Sure.
That's what you see everywhere. But I want you to know there's also these really elevated ciders that you will see on a restaurant's white tablecloth as well.
Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, this is really reminding me, the approach is reminding me of natural wine production and skin contact and all that kind of stuff. The sorts of flavors you get with that different process.
There's layers, there's levels.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite among these three, Mark?
Oh my God. I think that Greenwood cider was my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I love them all.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
I think I will help finish.
Yeah, feel free to partake on all these bottles.
When I was younger and my palate for cider was more limited to just kind of the more mass-produced stuff, I really craved an idea of like, I wish there was sort of like an apple cider vinegar note in these. And that has happened now. And it's that really drew me in.
Yeah, you need some balance. Anything you're drinking, you don't want it to be cloyingly sweet.
Yeah.
You want it, actually, when you think about a lot of beers and wines you drink, they have a fair amount of sweetness to them. Mm-hmm. but you don't think about it. Somehow cider, that's the first thing people think about. And everyone's always telling me they don't like sweet. And I'm like, from the general population, folks want sweet, but they want it balanced. You want some tartness or some bitterness, so it doesn't just hit you like candy.
Right.
Right.
That is the number one adjective I see in like user reviews for anything. You know, like at a restaurant or describing spirit, it's always like, this was so balanced. And I mean, that really tracks with what people are looking for, is that sort of balance. And I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the gold standard, you know, really, but it's an interesting I think, element that I've seen.
I think it depends on what you're doing with it too. If you're just sipping it on its own versus you're having it with a cheese plate, or, you know, pairing specifically with a meal, you can have a minerality, or you can have that bitterness if it's in the right situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Shall we move on to the news?
Yes, I think we should. But first,
Emily brought us a treat this week. I grabbed some treats that I wasn't that excited about, and then Emily said that she had a little treat for us. So I think that we should switch to Emily's treat.
Sure.
Let's do.
Can you tell us what you have?
Yeah, I went to T&T Market out in Bellevue last night, and you know, I like to peruse all sorts of wild and wonderful things. And this said it was mochi plus cheese, so I had to buy it.
Nice.
Two great tastes that taste great together.
All right,
ostensibly.
Hypothetically. Nice. I'm excited about this. Like, what kind of cheese? Who knows?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be anything.
All right. Oh, salud.
They're dry. Yeah. Cheers.
Whoa.
Oh, they're orange inside.
And white.
Wait.
If you go in the middle, there's
a
a
thing in
color.
the middle. There's like a little rice dumpling or something.
It's kind of good.
This is not what I was expecting.
No.
It's a little
powdery.
Yeah, the powderiness, the dryness of it on the outside is a thing that I tend to be averse to.
It's less stretchy than I think of when I think of. It's not bad.
I would
It's
almost
not
call
bad,
the
though.
outside more like a pastry rather than
Yeah.
mochi.
It's like a shortbread crust, a very very thin shortbread crust with orange mac and cheese powder inside. I kind of like it though.
I'm not getting cheese out of this.
No, me neither.
Cheese was waved near it.
Yeah, there's kind of an undeveloped tapioca-ness to it.
What's the
in the
little
middle,
gooey
in the
bit?
center?
I wonder if that's the mochi. The
That's
inside
kinda,
gel thing.
I think you're right. My God.
The second I heard myself saying tapioca, I was like, oh, is this the mochi? Is it mochi covered in pastry?
It's the nucleus, a mochi nucleus.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a snack that came from outer space.
It's inside out.
Well worth buying, I would say, but maybe not a second purchase happening.
Well, the point is sort of just you're curious about something and you want to try
Yeah.
it, and then we all get our reactions. So, kind of weird.
Yeah. What's your letter grade for this, Emily?
Well, I think there's a lot of butter in it, so I might give it a B. More butter is better.
Cheese and butter are like apples and pears. They're related.
Yeah.
Same genus, right?
I will eat it if there's a lot of butter.
Yeah, right. Me too. Yeah. So we took a week off. So we've got 2 weeks of news. Yeah.
I mean, kind of, yeah. What's kind of nice is that the news kind of became more immediate in the time. So, Little Beast is soft opening, and if you know about Little Beast, it's Kevin from Beast and Cleaver.
Yeah, I want to go to that.
Opening up what looks to be like a hardcore, amazing English pub with like the good English food. You know?
Yeah, right.
Cask beers?
Does he
I didn't
have
know the answer to
beers?
that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's his style, though. Like
would
he's
be
an
great.
English butcher. Yeah.
It would be his style. It looks like really well produced, great.
That's a great question. I want to know the answer
My
to that.
dad is British, and that's everything he ever wants, and they are not in style ever. So if he knows he can drive up to Seattle, he will be there.
Is he in Portland?
He's in Portland. Yeah.
Do they have it in Portland at all?
They have like 2 bars that have cask beer at this point.
There's White Horse Tavern in Pike Place Market that has cask beer. And then the only other one I knew of is no longer in existence. That was Brother Barrel up in Lake City, but that's gone. So I don't know. I'm curious, but
if they don't, let's bully them into having it.
let's make some friendly suggestions. So,
I mean, they need to sell their product.
Exactly.
So if it doesn't sell, if it's just the one guy in Portland who wants to buy it,
he doesn't even live in town. Yeah. Yeah, but Little Beast is in soft opening mode right now. They're going to open on Thursday, July 3rd.
Okay.
And they say on their Instagram, with limited seatings, a focused menu, and reservations only so we can control the flow as our team gets into the swing of things.
Let's go. Mark, you want to go?
Yeah, let's try to do that.
Let's do it.
I like this. He says, once we find our rhythm, we'll shift to offering reservations for about half of our tables, keeping the rest open for walk-ins.
I like it.
So kind of like however you like to roll, it sounds like you'll be able to do that. In theory, I suspect that this place is going to be very popular.
Yes.
It deserves to be. So
Yeah, they're doing great work.
Yeah, we'll see. Really exciting, though.
That's on Ballard Ave.
Yeah, it's in Ballard Ave, where the former location of the Ballard Pizza Company.
I was like, what's the old spot? It's the old Ballard Pizza Company. Cool. That's awesome. Great.
Super cool. The next one is Radiator Whiskey is opening their Ballard location on Wednesday, July 2nd.
That's right. I forgot they were doing that. That's great.
And they are opening up in the former location of the Ballard Cut. The Ballard Cut having moved to the former location of Matador on Market Street and Ballard Ave.
So where was Ballard Cut before?
Ballard Cut was further down Ballard Avenue, right next door to Gracia.
Okay. So same Little Beast district.
Yeah, there's the Little Beast district.
Very nearby.
This is always interesting to me when a place from Pike Place Market moves out of the market somewhere else or to a second location somewhere else.
Yeah.
And to me, there is no more atmospheric location than Pike Place Market. So you are going with an entirely different atmosphere when you change up from there.
Right.
But Ballard Avenue has its own atmosphere too.
That's true.
And what's interesting about Radiator Whiskey's Ballard location is they're going to be all ages.
Okay.
So
right. It's not a little bar that's tucked inside of the sanitary building or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think there's going to be a menu adjustment at both places. I read a story, I think in Eater, I think Harry Cheadle covered this a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And, when you're doing like an opening intent, it's always kind of funny to see like, will they actually do that?
Yeah,
Is that an intention that kind of like we decided, we couldn't really do the menu change now or not?
Yeah.
But they were intending to introduce some more seafood plates and kind of diversify the menu a little bit. So
yeah, they're opening up to a Ballard audience instead of a tourist audience. I also like the idea of bringing all the kids down to eat lunch at Radiator Whiskey. That's funny to me.
Yeah, and that's sort of why I think that the menu change or the menu shift is relevant and most likely will happen just because I think they're going to need to kind of hone that a little bit for the different audience.
It makes sense though.
Yeah.
I get it. They do great stuff. I ended up there the other day and I was like, oh yeah, this place. So,
yeah.
smart move.
The market has tons of really great places that are not. It's almost like a little bit of an out of sight, out of mind thing.
Totally, we're not tourists, so we don't go there. Well, you do because you live in Belltown.
Yeah, I mean, and I would really contend that the Pike Place Market isn't just for tourists. Even
no, it's not.
I mean, you and I rage against that idea quite a bit.
I'm saying that it is marketed toward tourists, not that it is only for tourists.
Sure, it is.
I
is
misspoke.
An attraction.
Where's the marketing money? Let's track it.
Yeah,
the marketing money. I'm excited about Schooner Street, which I'm 99% sure opened on the 18th.
Did it finally
June 18th.
open?
I believe so. They said they were.
Cool.
They're not really on the internet. So it's the former owners of the Stepping Stone and Ballard. This is more Ballard news. And they moved up to 80th and 15th.
Yeah.
So like Crown Hill in the old The Dane. Do you remember The Dane?
Yes.
Which was a lighting store when I was a kid. And then it became The Dane. And then it was Poor Decisions, P-O-U-R.
Yeah.
And now it's Schooner Street, which is the old name for 80th.
I love that.
Because you know how they renamed all the streets in Ballard when it was annexed by the city? It used to be its own little village, and it was like it had all these little street names. And then they're like, now you're 80th Street Northwest.
What a bummer.
So they named it after the old name, which is Schooner Street.
That's fantastic. I didn't know that.
Cute.
Yeah, so it's Liz and Daryl from the Stepping Stone.
I read an old article about the Virginia Inn from like the late 70s.
Yeah.
And the writer was talking about how it was an old timer spot at that time.
In the 70s,
Yeah, in the 70s. It was like a sort of a dive bar, basically.
Yeah.
And only old timers drank there. And he was commenting on about how everyone was ordering schooners.
Okay.
And they were ordering schooners because they were cheap. They're just really, really, like the cheapest thing you could possibly drink was a schooner of beer, a schooner of cheap beer.
Yeah.
And
I love the double entendre there. They just happened to be on Schooner Street and they're a beer bar. So adorable.
It's fantastic.
But I'm pumped that although the Stepping Stone closed because the building got bought, they were able to pop up not too far away even.
Yeah, that's great.
Good Ballard news.
Totally. Some Capitol Hill news. Gol Mok, a nostalgic Korean street food restaurant from the owners of Chan, which is a downtown Korean restaurant, has opened in the former Taku space.
Where's Chan?
Chan is downtown. It's on like 7th and I want to say Pine.
7th and Pine?
7th and Pine.
Like the courthouse neighborhood?
Yeah, around there. It's sort of in like the AMC movie theater district.
Okay.
or the Paramount district.
The vibrant AMC district.
Yeah, I don't know why that was the first thing that came to my mind.
I like it.
But it was.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so that's sort of like a modern Korean restaurant. And this Gol Mok looks really interesting. They're opening on July 2nd, so also the same day as Radiator Whiskey in Ballard on Wednesday. And they are specializing in bun sik, which
I don't know what that is.
I had to look it up. It's food made with flour is how it translates.
That could be a lot of things. That could be a beef stew.
Yeah, and then I think it has become sort of an idiom in Korean for like snack food, basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Fun.
And so they'll have other things too. Like they'll have tteokbokki, and they'll have. It looks like they had some like scallion pancake situation on their Instagram. It looked the food looked fantastic. So,
I want it.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Chef Shota is incredible. He's a star, but I wasn't super enthused about taku, and so I think this is kind of a cool.
I'm with you.
Shift.
I didn't want a $50 fried chicken bucket. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah,
other people did, but I didn't.
One might say "fuck it" to that.
Good thing it's not there anymore. It got fucked. Someone said "fuck this," and I'm not doing it. Yeah.
And that dish was called a fuck it bucket. So that's
the joke.
In
kids.
case anyone didn't know, it's not Mark getting real mean all of a sudden.
You're like, I'm sorry, I said a swear, but it was on the menu. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Any other news?
Next is Maiden House.
Oh, I love
which
them.
is a fantastic Korean restaurant in Fremont.
Yeah.
They closed in March for remodel that they said was going to be until April, and I remember seeing that and thinking that it's always going to take longer,
too fast,
right?
Yeah.
And so they are. It indeed took longer than expected, and they're going to be opening up on Tuesday, July 8th.
Great.
And they did a lot of work in there, actually. I think it might have been one of those things where they knocked down a wall and then they found, oh, shoot, we got to replace this pipe. And then if we're going to replace this pipe, well, we might as well make this troublesome corner that was hard to fit a table into an open corner.
The guy's here. The wall's open. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it was something like that. So I saw some photos of the new space, not with everything in it, of course, yet, but it looks a lot more logical and a lot of more favorable layout. So hopefully they'll be able to serve more people. It's a great restaurant. I really love everything I've had there. It's such like fresh, great, flavorful Korean food.
Yeah, they do a lot of veggie stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
Veggie and vegan.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of and like gluten-free stuff, and they're really good at handling dietary restrictions. So
long-time Seattleites will know that spot as the Longshoreman's Daughter Diner.
Exactly. And there was something before that even. Do you remember what was before the Longshoreman's Daughter?
If you said it, I'd be like,
oh. It was, I think.
This is like Jeopardy where you're like, I don't know the answer. And then they say it and you're like, of course.
Exactly, yeah. Because I think it's one of those spaces where like we know it as the Longshoreman's Daughter in the same way we know the Hurricane.
Yeah,
and other people are like, whoa, that's the doghouse. And
earlier I referred to Dan and Ray's. Old-time Seattleites know that as the Belltown Grocery now, but it was called Dan and Ray's, Yeah. Anyway, Maiden House is great.
Well, Emily, for our roundtable, we thought we would talk about some trends in cider, because who better to ask than someone who has got their finger on that pulse. So one thing we noticed in the press release for the Northwest Cider Awards was the idea of people paying more attention to ABV in ciders. Mm-hmm. So like, what are you seeing around that?
Yeah, I'm seeing people pay attention to ABV generally. And this is the last few years we've been kind of dividing. The great waters have been parting. Yeah. And we see some folks who want imperial ciders or drinks generally with a higher ABV because they want a good bang for their buck, right? Yeah. The dollar needs to go a little farther.
I need the meds to work, is what they're saying.
It's the economy.
It's the economy.
It's the economy, stupid.
So one of the fastest growing cider categories are the imperial ciders. And they're even coming in larger cans now to really get your bang for your buck. But then we're also seeing a lot of folks who are very health conscious. They're maybe sober curious. They're looking for
sober curious. I love that. I love it.
They're looking for a night off, or they're looking for a lower ABV, and so we're seeing cideries are making NAs completely or just lower ABVs, a light cider, there's maybe 4%, something like that.
What is the typical average ABV of just like a standard cider traditionally?
Yeah, it really depends on the apples they're fermenting. Yeah. If you're fermenting something like a crab apple, they are packed with sugar, which is funny because when you bite into it, you're like, bleh.
They don't taste like it.
It doesn't taste like it. But again, it's balance. It's all about balance. They are packed with sugar, and that will ferment to like a 9% or something like that. But the general ciders I'm seeing, like the ones I brought you, I would guess they're all about 7% because that's generally where most apples are falling.
Cool. Would a 9% be considered an imperial cider, or are they going even higher?
Yeah, anything over about 8.5%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to chase this factoid or alleged factoid down, but I saw an article linked to on Instagram claiming that Gen Z is now finally starting to drink. And
finally.
I know. And that previous divide that we saw before and has almost been understood as a conventional wisdom that Gen Z doesn't drink, it is no longer true. And I wonder if you have any sort of information on whether or not that is true, or if that's maybe too early to say. Or...
No, I went to a really good presentation in the winter about that, where they were like, that was a great news headline, but it didn't take into account that most of Gen Z wasn't over 21 yet.
Yeah.
So when they're quote unquote starting to drink, they're officially in the drinking category. And so it's less newsy. So that was an economist, I think, with the Brewers Association or someone who I felt like I could trust. And I was like, oh, okay, the panic is over. You know, they're just like everyone else.
These 14-year-olds aren't caring.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh no, Gen Alpha. Now it's Gen Alpha that's not drinking. It's going to be a problem.
My 2-year-old's not drinking. Big
problem in this house.
That's a super funny point.
Yeah. Strong point. Well argued.
I would maybe think that the narrative that might be true, though, is that Gen Z is a little bit more conscious of their intake than previous generations have been.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, intake, whether it's health related or affecting the planet. Yeah, I think it's a generation that really cares, and they see the world's on fire and they want to do something about it. Yeah. So when you look at what they buy, the marketability, they're looking for a good story of a company that's doing something good for the world or the local economy or something like that.
Yeah, that's relatable, and I admire that.
Yeah.
I'm sort of interested about you personally and how you got into the cider universe, but that's not what the round top that's supposed to be in the interview.
We did blow right through that and into tasting
who I
stuff.
am.
So but normally we would.
Yeah, no. So I fell in love with cider partly because my dad is British, and I was visiting cideries in England and met one of the nicest cider makers who happens to be absolutely brilliant. He makes gorgeous cider.
What kind of cider is it?
Well, he makes cider in Perry. He's very traditional. He's got these beautiful 300-year-old trees that he's harvesting from by shaking them and making it just in a barn cellar, and it's beautiful. I'll give him a shout out. Oliver Cider. Sometimes you can find him around here. He does import sometimes. But he knew the people making cider here in the Northwest over a decade ago because he is the sound engineer for the Proclaimers.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah. So he'd been out here a few times touring, and he connected me with the cider world here, and I absolutely fell in love with the agricultural aspect, the connection to land, the beauty, and the people who get into cider. They're a little bit like the weirdos on the side. You know, they're the counterculture because most people haven't heard of cider, especially a decade ago, and they're interested in doing something for themselves. And it really pays off. It's a really lovely community of people, whether anyone's making money at making small businesses work these days, who knows, but they are passionate and I love supporting them.
Yeah, that's rad.
It's alternative wine, right? Because Washington has such a rep for its wine industry. I recently wrote that Cider Seattle cidery roadmap trip, which is in the works. I'm not sure when it will publish, but that was the preamble. Like, we're known as Washington Wines is our rep. But there's so many cideries here. We're the Apple State, right? And I just didn't even think of it until recently.
Yeah, and we have a map on our website, nwcider.com. If you are in an area, you know, like if you're visiting the Olympic Peninsula this summer or you're out on Lake Chelan or something, you can see on our map if there's a cidery nearby. There usually is.
Right.
And you can add that to your visit. Usually it's the owner who's going to say hi to you. They're small family businesses, and it's a fun time.
And often they're estate cideries, so you get to see the orchard too, which is just such a dream, especially this time of year. Like when it's beautiful weather, it's not pouring rain, you can just walk through the orchard. We went to Cockrell, I mentioned that a few episodes ago, and they have those Oh, what do they call it where they train the branches into sort of like a flat fence? Do you know? Espalier? Yeah. And it was just dreamy. And they have a little black lab who wanders around, and there were chickens, and it just felt
Elwood.
like
I think his dog is Elwood.
Elwood, and that is exactly
I know that
his
because
name.
I have a cat named Elwood.
That is Elwood. We met
sticks
Elwood.
in my head. Yeah.
And there were roosters crowing, and they're on the riverside of the Puyallup River. It was one of my best summer memories so far.
It's pretty beautiful. I'm going next
Yeah.
week. We're going to have
really?
a social for the
Nice.
industry, and they're very generous to host us every year.
They actually were what inspired the eater story that I wrote, because I'm just like, what a great road trip to just hit 4 or 5 of these around the Puget Sound Loop. So
Yeah, and it's a father-daughter team at Cockrell, and the daughter
really?
was at our awards party last week.
Cool.
And she won the Best Dressed award.
Oh, there's
Very
a best
prestigious.
dressed award.
I thought it was brothers, but I guess it's brothers and a daughter/niece. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool. Now, there is just something about a grower producer that is just extra special, because it's just really from beginning to end in the production.
Right.
Well, and a lot of the cideries in this region are forced into that just because there isn't a whole lot of supply of cider fruit right now. It's not like the wine industry or something that's more established where it's specialized and you can just go to, whatever and buy a Merlot from Walla Walla. You have to grow those apples because there's not many growers producing them.
You're your own supply. You're getting high off your own supply. Sadly for me, although we took 2 weeks off, I worked the entire time, and I had a couple meals that were not nice in restaurants, so I'm not going to report on them. So I only have 2 to mention. One of them, I finally went to the teriyaki place inside the parking garage.
Oh my God.
So for many, many years, up the street at like 5th and Seneca, I think, might be Spring, there's been a teriyaki place, and you have to go into the parking garage to eat the teriyaki. And it was so legit. Like it was so it's a mini mart, which is the best kind of teriyaki.
Yeah, it's called like community grocery.
It's
is
called
that
community grocery,
Yeah.
and then it also says like fast food. And then when you go in, it's teriyaki spot. TV's blaring. They were watching anime or something.
I wonder if it's on Kenji Lopez Alt's list because he was on a teriyaki kick
I have
for a
to
while.
wonder. Yeah, I thought
get
that
there
was
eventually,
funny
yeah.
because there's 100 teriyaki spots. Like, how could you possibly rate
was
and
a
rank the
tall
order?
order.
Yeah.
It's like Sufjan Stevens writing an album about every state. You know?
It's like me moving to New York City and reviewing all the pizza. Like, the fuck would I know? I'm from Seattle. Right? It was
take a
weird. 'cause
lifetime.
He's from New York. He's coming here to review the teriyaki, and I'm like, I appreciate that you're like boosting it, but there's so many.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like we have a dearth of those legit like 70s era wood paneled in the back of a bodega.
Yeah.
Thank you
They
for
call it
doing
a bodega.
that research. I really appreciate that.
So I finally went in, and it was good. They gave me a ton of food. It was legit. It was flame grilled. It was charred on the edge.
Yes.
Gingery sauce, not too sweet. My only quibble is that they put pesto ranch on the salad, which was like the same pesto ranch that you get at the spaghetti factory, the old spaghetti factory.
Oh my God, I remember that.
I recognize it instantly. Now, I like that pesto ranch, but it's not supposed to be on the teriyaki salad because I want the sesame dressing because it's also good on the rice. You want to put it on the rice as well. You want to mix it.
You're out of your element, pesto ranch.
I wonder if they were just out of sesame dressing that day or something. It was surprising. I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's
They ran
a
to Costco.
curveball.
Sometimes you'll get the Tsunamono pickled cucumbers, which I also like. They have that at Teriyaki Madness. I appreciate that. That's legit. Like, that's more authentic Japanese food. But I kind of miss that sesame creamy dressing.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for too.
That's all. However, A- or solid A. It was a lovely experience. And being in the space, honestly, and talking to the super friendly staff, and there were coolers of beer, and they had like 20 different kinds of Pringles for some reason.
Whoa. All right.
I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, Pringles is going crazy lately.
I know.
Like, they got into like an Oreo zone where they're doing like all these like crazy.
They have hot honey, and
Yeah, like what?
they had beer can chicken the other day.
I mean, it's so weird when manufacturers get that specific, because like we're talking about powder. You know what I mean? Like, this is powder sprinkled over a chip.
I will say, when I first went to the UK in 2003 or 2004, they had Walker's Crisps, and they had the shrimp cocktail one. Blew my mind when I was like 24. I'm aging myself here. And they had roast chicken chips. So UK has had this kind of shit for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
in
are
France, late. The chips in other countries are definitely much more inventive.
Even Canada had the all dressed long before we did.
Sure.
I think that we are late, frankly.
Fair. Just catching up, Pringles.
Oh, and then I went to Field Bar, which I've talked about before. But we were trying to go to Kingfisher and Rye because they're doing kind of like a British whiskey like theme. I think someone has Scottish ancestry there. This is in Tacoma. And they're doing like, they're whiskey nerds over there. So we parked, and the only parking space was in front of Field Bar. And I was like, fuck it, we're going in. So we went and saw Brian at Field Bar and got this beautiful asparagus dish with roasted morels and a dashi broth. And it had a savory panna cotta.
I love that.
I know. And I thought of you at Mezzanotte.
Yeah.
No sugar in it?
No sugar.
No
yes.
sugar.
Oh.
That was when we went to a dinner at Mezzanotte, and they served, Chef Johnny Sullivan served a savory panna cotta.
Yeah.
And I had never had such a thing before. I didn't know it existed. And it blew our minds. We were just like, this is unbelievably good.
Yum.
And
It was a lapsang souchong savory panna cotta. So it was smoked tea flavored panna cotta with roast morels and dashi broth and pickled ginger and a
Dashi broth,
togarashi. So Field Bar in Tacoma is changing the game.
Yeah, you fucking psychos. I love it.
Yeah. Chef Ike knows what's up.
That's
and
incredible.
I had a Greenwood cider there.
Yeah.
Oh, now you know it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's all I got this week. What'd you eat?
I mean, I had the exact same week as you did, Meg. I was so busy. The places I went to were just like the places in my neighborhood that I always go to and I always talk about. I went afield to try a place and it didn't hit, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the one place I did get a chance to go to was Musang.
Oh,
And
great.
I haven't been to Musang.
I've never been to Musang.
You've never been there?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I don't have friends who want to go to Beacon Hill.
See, that's so crazy
It's not
to me.
fair.
It's not difficult to get to Beacon Hill, especially that part of it, because
I agree with you
Are
completely.
you saying Mark's not your friend? Because he went.
Yeah. Well, he didn't invite me, so I guess he's not my friend.
I didn't invite Meg.
Rude, right? Thank you for pointing that out. I
Sorry,
guess we're not
poke,
friends. We broke up this week. We're not friends. We'll be friends next week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, we're taking a month off, so now people are going to wonder. They're like, oh, are they fighting?
No,
But-
we are taking a month off to go to all the restaurants we don't have time to go to.
Exactly.
Because we got to
Also-
make a podcast every week.
Exactly. But yeah, so I had, oh my God, like just a bonkers amount of work, which is good. That's what you want when you're a freelance worker. But I also like have sort of a day job part
You
time.
need both. You need the money to go to the restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a few hours to get away. I went to Musang, or is it Musang? I thought it was, I don't know.
It's Musang.
Yeah. And I got this riff on paella they're doing, because they changed their menu quite a bit. So they
Filipino
didn't-
paella. I like it. Yeah.
They didn't have anything on the menu that I'd had there before, with the exception of Pensit Canton, which was very similar to the Pensit Canton they do at Kilig.
Yeah.
Although a bit different. It was a lot richer, actually.
Okay.
Like that sort of soy sauce element of it was a lot more present.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Filipino paella was really complex and fantastic. It had that crisp bottom. They served it in a carbon steel pan.
Ooh.
You scrape it off, you get that crispy bottom.
Mel knows what she's doing over there.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And then, other than that, I went to the South Lake Union Market. And I got a pastel de nata from Nata Seattle.
Oh, I saw your picture of that.
Yeah.
Is it killer?
Yeah.
It's really good. I've been trying to try their pastéis de nata forever. It just hasn't worked out with my schedule. So finally, they moved the South Lake Union Market from over north of Denny to now it's on 6th Avenue from Bell to Battery. And so that's like right in my zone.
So it's more in Belltown than South Lake Union.
Yeah, it's like Denny Triangle.
Great. They moved it out of the Amazon Village. Good.
Well, no, it's like kind of in the heart of the Amazon Village now, but it's like by the Spheres. But in any event, it's really close to where I live, and so I was able to walk over there. And have you guys been to Portugal and had a pastel de nata there?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I was half pastel de nata when I lived there, or when I visited. I think I ate so many, my body turned into
I was just going to say, when Mark went to Portugal a few years ago, and that's your thing now. You're searching, you're seeking it.
Well, so here's the thing. Here's my opinion on looking for something that you had far afield, right?
Right. Yeah.
You can hope to find it far away, but you can't expect to find it, and not in the exact same format, right? Because there is a culture of pastel de nata that does not exist here, right? So when you're talking about a baked good, the demand and the culture of it is such that they're baking them off like every 30 minutes or so, right? And so you're almost always getting them fresh out the oven in Portugal. That just can't happen here. There is not enough of a demand. Like imagine if pizza was like 1.5 inches in diameter and you had to make like 30 of them with every single bake, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't be making that to order. Like you'd be baking it ahead of time. And that's how Nata Seattle is. That he's making them in a commissary kitchen and then bringing them to the market to sell after the fact.
Yep.
So with that in mind, there's a textural difference, but the flavor is good, the texture is good. I really love it, and I recommend it.
Satisfying.
And, yeah.
I got to check it out.
We have 1 minute left. Do you want to recommend any place in Portland that you went to recently?
I was going to recommend something in Seattle, actually.
Oh, yeah, please do.
The Masonry.
Yeah, no, they're great. I met them recently.
Good.
Yeah.
Their pizza is so good, and they carry amazing ciders and beers. I would give them a huge shout out for their drinks list.
I know that the
And
guy
pizza's
recently,
killer.
because they own fast fashion brewing as well. And I know the guy, I went in there and he's like, I'm going to go to Denmark. I'm going to go to like a beer festival in Denmark. So I just thought he was a beer guy. But they have cider as well.
They carry great funky ciders.
Yeah.
I definitely shout out. I mean, there's so many restaurants locally that are supporting cider now, but I've been going there for many years and I highly recommend it.
They are in the old Quiznos on Roy Street on Lower Queen Anne, and they have an old like Quiznos ad on the wall. And when I went there, I'm like, this is a former Quiznos, like in my brain. Because I didn't think anyone remembered that there was a Quiznos there or even what Quiznos is. And then I saw like a queue on the wall and I was like, we both remember.
What pizza did you get when you were there?
I think margarita would just be like an easy one, and they do it so well.
Yeah, that's a good yardstick anytime.
They have cuppy pepperoni. They have a wood-fired oven.
Love that. Yep.
It's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we're done. Well, thank you, Emily,
Yeah, thank you
for
so
taking
much for
time
joining
out of
us.
your busy press schedule.
Thank you so much for having me. This is really fun. I always learn so much when I listen to you guys.
Good.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
glad you listen.
Yeah.
Good party. We're taking the month off.
Yeah.
Although this won't land for a couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit, but...
I'm going to go to Wenatchee and check out Chef David Nichols's dinner in a cherry orchard from 8 Row.
I might join you for that. I think.
Yeah,
you're
come
going?
through. Come through. Yeah.
I'm going to go to upstate New York and visit my relatives.
Nice. You going to do Italian shit out
I'm
there?
going to do lots of Italian shit.
Italian hand is going to come out? Yeah.
I'm going to eat a lot of soft serve because there's a marked difference between soft serve there and soft serve here.
I didn't know that.
I might talk about it on our next episode.
Yeah, do some research.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
There's a lot of cider there too if you're, on the market. New York, Apple State.
Yeah, that's the other. I learned that while researching my cider story that New York is number 2.
Yeah.
We're number 1 in New York State is number 2. So drink some cider.
yeah.
Now you're hooked, right?
Absolutely. I'm absolutely doing that.
Now
Fantastic.
you're in the club. You're in the Apple Cup.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Sorry you're in it now.
Welcome to the
in.
Cider Cup. All right, we're going to sign off. We'll see you in August.
See you in August, everyone.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Ciao.
Bye.